hit the go button. Yeah, there we go. We have hit the launch sequence, as it were, here on a beautiful Monday morning at Loan Officer Breakfast Club. Good morning, everybody. Glad to have you here with us. Wow, August 25th, man, 2025. Accelerating through the year as always. Good to have everybody here. We're going to have a great day today. We're going to talk about something, man. Something that I think is, I don't know, man. I think it's just important to have this conversation today. I think a lot of people kind of struggle a little bit with this particular matter. And it's not a problem because Kristen and Jen are going to lay it all out perfectly for us. We're going to just
stack it straight,
soak it all up.
Yeah.
And be fixed. We'll be fixed people after that. That's exactly how that's going to go. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Loan Officer Breakfast Club, brought to you by the Mortgage Marketing Animals every Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time for your free coaching pleasure, of course. Wake up the chat. Let's see where you guys at today. Let us know where you're at, what the weather is, how your weekend went. Did you get a deal over the weekend? That'd be nice to know, right, Steve? Let's see if we got any
maybe drop in the chat
a
win. Give us a win.
Yeah,
hey, Connor, good to see you, brother.
Like that.
See a lot of the people that have gone through the boot camp too, man. I bet they're winning.
Cool.
Come on, share some wins.
Jersey, North Carolina.
I know it. Hey, and I love Jared
Indiana.
Manley. His hat. Yeah. Jesus is my boss. What's up, my man?
Praise the Lord.
It.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah, my brother. Yeah,
right.
man. Good stuff. Well,
contract over the weekend. Eric Morgan. Great job.
Nice. Got a contract for $900,000.
Shelly.
And Shelly.
Good job.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my God. $949.
Yeah.
DSCR deal. DSCR again. Man, 3 new DSCR loans submitted over the weekend. DSCR is good stuff, man. It does make things a little easier. 53, a little chilly here in Wisconsin. 1.5 million in offers over the weekend. What the heck is going on
and
out
Connor's
there?
a new loan officer, man. So,
what?
Great job.
Man, oh man.
Andrew
5 loan
says,
approvals.
Andrew says, pre-approved and looking from 2024 went under contract.
There you go. Finally.
Let's go.
It's like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Man.
5 loan approvals issued on Sunday. Man, there's a lot of wins in the chat. This is awesome way to start
It's
a Monday.
exploding with the wins.
Yeah.
Golly. And so for the people that might be listening to the podcast on Spotify, or they're not seeing the visual stuff here, you just guys have to understand, like, the chat is blown up with wins like crazy. Well, that's what you get for hanging out here at Loan Officer Breakfast Club, my friends. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's what I'm going to say. No, I'm kidding. That was all your hard work, everybody. Congratulations on it all. Chris Johnstone in the house. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man? Yeah, he's muted. I'm going to sad trombone. Fun. I like sad tromboning, my friends.
On the trigger this morning, man.
Yeah, well, with friends, I can do it. And with guys, right, Chris? I mean, no big deal, right?
Big deal. It's
no
all
big
deal. I deserved it this morning. But man,
right, indeed.
I was focused on reading the chat, and it is blowing up with wins. That is fantastic.
Crazy. Yeah. Wowza. That just shows you things are turning. You know what else it shows you, too, is that, there's been a lot of attrition in the loan industry, right? A lot of LOs leaving, and so it's just kind of left a lot of room for those of us who stick around. Suddenly there's more business there, right? Yep. Because so many people have walked out the door. Hey, I'm going to share the news this morning real quick. The news is very interesting this morning, and it's going to kind of parlay into the success, I think, that people are seeing. And I think we're going to see, even more. I mean, that's just my prognostication. It's such a great word.
I love when you prognosticate, Frank.
I know. Yeah. Don't make me prognosticate on you right now.
Wow.
Because, I will. I'm not afraid. Okay. So in the news today, now look, guys, if you didn't get it, I'm going to put the link to the story in the chat, right? As you can see, if you just go to Loan Officer Breakfast Club and you go to In the News, there's this big blue box, put your email in there, subscribe. You'll get the news stories every day. Oh, gosh darn it. Let me try and highlight this link there. All right. So you get the news stories every day. And they're great, man. You can just, first of all, you just get some information into your head about what's going on in the industry. I always try to find the good stuff too. I'm not a doom and gloom guy. We talk about this all. That's easy to find. You can find that all day long, every day, right? So I try to find some interesting stories. Today we have a few interesting stories. Number one, the CEO Redfin, whatever his name is, Glenn Kelman. He was up on CNBC having a conversation. This is video; it's embedded. You can watch it and listen to what he had to say. But man, he's thinking the next 6 to 9 months, a buyer rebound is in our future, and he's of course equating that, guys, to potentially rates easing and that type of a thing. But that's what he's seeing. So this is a good short. It's not very long. Good little video you can check out. Shareable, of course, with your real estate partners, your consumers, whatever the case may be. So that's a cool little story. Don't forget about Community Wholesale's 100% down payment assistance program with lender paid comp. Do not forget about that. If that's one of the things that makes DPA a little challenging sometimes, is most of it goes toward the points you got to charge in order to make any money. They have lender paid comp. So you just click on this banner here or go to dpa100.com. In the street, which is kind of an interesting little rag, online rag. It's called The Street. I've been picking up some stories from these guys from time to time, and they've got a story right now, again, supporting what Glenn from Redfin had to say, is that they see a market shift coming with rates easing. Again, supporting what Glenn had to say over at Redfin. So another story. Again, you can click straight to the full story here just on any of these stories by clicking to read the full story. Don't forget about the AI CRM. By the way, that podcast that we did, guys, me and Steve did about the AI CRM.
I don't know if Chris knows that, but we literally did a podcast and we're just like, our AI attendants are up and running. I mean, like, we're like, I know this sounds like a commercial. It's not. We're just fired up.
It's like, this is awesome.
Well, thank you, gentlemen.
I
I
think you
appreciate
did
it.
that, Chris.
So
podcast.
That's right here, that particular podcast. And okay,
about
the CHLA. You ever heard of them?
No, bless you.
Okay. Thank you. There's an ointment for that. Yeah. So, all right. So, yeah, the CHLA, they're the Community Home Lenders of America.
Okay.
So there's this kind of, there's all this stuff going on about the GSEs, right? Fannie Freddie, like Trump wants an IPO. And then they were saying, well, let's combine them. That came up too.
Okay.
And they're calling that, what are they calling it?
Great American Mortgage Corporation?
Yes.
It's right there
You
in the
see
middle
it
of the
somewhere
article.
good. Yeah, I couldn't see it. Yeah. So Great American Mortgage Corporation, what they want to try and call it, but this group is saying, don't do it. It'll hurt competition, things like that. I saw a story somewhere else. I couldn't find it where MBA is on their side as well, right? It's the CHLA side. They're thinking don't combine the two for
They're
whatever
different,
reasons.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah, they're different. They got a little, like, things you can't get done at Fannie. You go to Freddie. Yeah, Yeah, that's true. So there's that. And then there's loan officer perspective for you guys to just chew on that. Real estate perspective, you can copy this, paste it, and send it out with an email about this news article, home buyer and sellers. But Frank's thoughts today is different. We talked the coconut and the call. I'm going to summarize this for you. So I don't know if you guys have all the ins and outs about John Kennedy, the president who was assassinated. But before he became president, he was a PT boat commander, right, in the Pacific, right. This is World War II. PT boat commander in the islands, these scattered islands out there in the Pacific, and their job as a PT boat was they had torpedoes on them. I think they had like 4 torpedoes. Maybe somebody could put a picture of it in the chat. But they had like 4 torpedoes, and they would go out at nighttime when it was dark, right? And so they'd go out at night and they'd hunt Japanese destroyers and shoot them with torpedoes. That was their gig. Well, Kennedy was the commander of one, and the story is just fascinating. This is like good old American hero stuff, right? Stuff that we need more of, in my opinion, But so one night they're on patrol. I think it was a night in August, to tell you the truth. They're out on patrol. They get hit by a Japanese destroyer. It splits the PT boat completely in half. Okay. 2 of his guys die immediately. 11 others, including himself, are now out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in the middle of the night. Okay, clinging to debris to stay afloat with life vests and stuff like that. So Kennedy at the time he was 26 years old. That's how old this kid. Can you imagine being 26? You just got hit by a destroyer on your PT boat. You're floating around in the Pacific Ocean. What does he do? He leads, man. He leads. He gets his guys' heads together. They regroup. They start swimming in a direction. They believe that there's an island. Okay. So they start swimming in the middle of the night in shark-infested waters. Kennedy's dragging one of his wounded buddies by a strap on the guy's life vest in his teeth. He's pulling a guy by his teeth, swimming with his other buddies, like to get to shore. They get to this island. They're surviving on coconuts and rainwater, okay? And there's a lot of little islands around. Kennedy at night would secretly swim to the next island to see if it was safe, right? To see if they could bring in the rest of his crew. And he'd swim back and they'd all make it to the next island. They do this for a week, right? They find an indigenous tribe of people on one of these islands, right, who seem to be friendly. Wow. Kennedy takes a coconut, carves a message into the coconut, right? Gives it to one of these island guys who can travel because they're not Americans, right? So they can travel and not seem to be like a danger to the Japanese or whatever. Carves this message in. This native guy gets the message back to the Allies, and the Allies come and rescue them because he had information on the coconut on how to find them.
Wow.
So when he becomes president, he still had that coconut on his desk in the Oval Office as just a reminder, of just, wow, how incredible, that was, and the grit that it took and all that. And so obviously, where do we segue this into? You think making phone calls is tough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And it is. And in here, I even say, I'm not minimizing that feeling, right? We're not minimizing. We feel it is kind of scary. And this is going to segue into what we're going to talk about today. But, it can be tough. It certainly can be. But, come on. We can do it, man. This 26-year-old with a life vest strap in his teeth in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, in the middle of the night, shark-infested waters, getting his team back to an island. That's hard. If you're getting value from this already, go ahead and tap that like button. It helps more loan officers find content that actually makes a difference. And hey, if staying ahead of the market and learning what's really working in our industry matters to you, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss another episode. We read every comment, so drop your thoughts down below. We'd love to hear from you and know what's working or what you'd like us to cover next. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you here next time. That's hard stuff.
Well, wait a second. Now, just to clarify. So if you look at like Biden, Kamala, and Trump, they each have a story much like that. Like,
yeah,
well, maybe they don't. Never mind. Never mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, Bush. No.
Bush actually wondered. Yeah.
Clinton,
Senior did. George Senior had a story like that.
Senior did.
Yeah. He had a story like that.
Yeah.
But what a cool story. And it was just amazing to see that kind of, grit and, bravery.
Man.
And
that's perspective. When we say it's hard.
And perspective. Yeah.
Hard based on what? Yeah.
What if they say no?
Right.
What then?
Yeah. It becomes tough,
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You think shark infested water is dangerous, man. These calls that I had to make, it was. It's funny. It's funny. That's actually a great story, Frank.
That's a great perspective too.
Isn't it something? Yeah.
I find myself complaining, so I'm making fun of myself, by the way, as I'm doing this. So
yeah, exactly. So that's what we wanted.
Frank, I don't want to call them too much. It's Monday. The plan is we call them, but I got a loan in process on Tuesday, and what happens if I call them and they send me a lead, then I touch the lead, touch partner. Like, it's just, I'm bugging them, right, Frank?
Exactly. That's what we want to talk about today. And I specifically wanted to kind of make note of, I think the subject line of the email about today's show is about, like 10-minute phone call, 10-minute phone calls with real estate agents that can just change everything. Now, there's not in one sitting 10 minutes, but what I'm looking at is specifically, hey, we call on Mondays just to check in after the weekend. But if we got a loan in process, we also call them the very next day on Tuesday. And so we do sometimes get the feedback or the pushback from loan officers, like, I don't want to call them both days. Like if I've got a deal in process, why am I going to call them on Monday? I'm going to call them on Tuesday anyway and give them an updated what's going on. Or if I do call them on Monday, they're just going to ask me what's going on the file anyway. So I'm going to update them on Monday. Then what's the point of calling them on Tuesday to update it if I call them on Monday? And so that's what I wanted to explore today.
You only call them if you want more business. You don't need to. Right? Right, Carl?
And you know what I think, Steve? I think a lot of times we formulate these conversations in our head based on the struggle bunnies and not the full-time high producers. Because on the struggle bunnies, I need to find a better word, but on the agents that just barely getting by, that has one or two, maybe three deals a year, it would be too often. It'd be way too often,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
And they would push back. Or frankly, they'd probably be a little embarrassed,
Right.
right? But think of it like if you were to talk to your processor every day about ways of getting new business, ways of making things smoother, would you think, that darn processor, I talk to her way too, she calls me way too much with ideas. She calls me way too much to let me know what's going on in my files.
That's
She
a good
calls
way
me
to
way
look
too
at it.
much to let me know that, hey, we got that bank statement in. I wish he'd stop calling me all the time. I wish he'd stop calling me all the time. We wouldn't think that for a second. And so when we have
Right.
these, having conversations with the high producers, the way we approach them, because Frank, my highest producers, calling them on Monday, right, for a Thor's
Mm.
hammer. On Tuesday, we have an update on the file,
Mm.
right? On Wednesday, calling my database, touch a lead, touch a partner. I'm telling them about the follow up, refer back, how I got them another referral today.
Mm.
On Thursdays, who are you working with this weekend? It needs to be a pre-approved, so it's a good use of your time because they are working with somebody that weekend that does need
Mm.
to be pre-approved.
Mm.
And
Mm.
so I think we have these conversations about the low producing agents and thinking that's the normal conversation, and it's not.
Hey, and you know
Actually,
what? You know
that is
what?
a normal conversation. We're
Yeah.
looking for the abnormal people.
Well, and Carl, I think it's because we're not, I mean, just to be candid, we have to look at the people we're calling to see if they're qualified. We just
Mhm.
assume, man, most of the agents I'm talking to are, but that's why it's so important to know the numbers, because
Yeah.
the numbers validate exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, I
Hey,
got
Chris,
it.
on your system, is there on the LOCRM dot AI, is there can I look up as many agents as I want to? Is there any limitation to that whatsoever?
No limit. You can import and look up as many as you want.
In any area that I want, like I can like is there like any so like any all 50 states, so just not that I'm that most people that doesn't matter, but all 50.
Yep, all 50.
I think this thing where we can look up people's productions now is just
Huge.
truly an unfair advantage. And
Yeah.
if everybody's not using some system, some way to make that happen. I remember,
Mhm.
Steve, when this first came out,
It was
we were
so
paying
expensive.
$2,500 a month
I
for the service.
remember that.
Yeah.
And you only got a certain amount of accounts, and it was like crazy.
And I thought it was a steal.
Oh,
I thought,
yeah.
holy cow, this is
We
this
hit
is
the lottery.
crazy. Yeah, we hit the
Yeah.
You
lottery.
got the list.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In fact, when they
So
lowered
much.
this true story, I'm not going to talk about the company. The company was great. When they lowered their price, they kept us at the same. I guess they like new people coming in were cheaper. I didn't call them up. And this is probably 4 months, 5 months
Yeah.
before I said, "Hey, everybody else getting this for 100. Why am I still paying 2,500?"
Yeah.
Because I felt guilty because it was such a great service.
Mm.
I was so grateful for them. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm a grateful person. I was so grateful for the service they provide, and it was awesome.
Mhm.
I don't think they did it on purpose. I think it just kind of like, I don't know, wait until people call. I don't know what for whatever
Well,
reason.
yeah, that's how it
But I
is.
was grateful.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And circling back around to the call, somebody said in the chat that, hey man, you told people you would call them and update them on Tuesday. Absolutely, and that's what we're doing. And we know that those calls, especially if we're calling the listing agent, escrow, insurance, we know that those Tuesday calls are probably some of the most powerful calls we could make in the daily success plan. But the question is, well, what about that Monday call, right? Remember,
Mhm.
let's milk the cows that are on the farm, right? Let's talk to the agents that are already giving us business, that Monday check-in, right? Do we do both? And the answer is yeah. I mean, we want to do both. We want to call on Monday and check in, and we want to call on Tuesday and update. That's what we want to do. And then Carl brought up, even on Wednesdays, if I'm calling my past client database and I do dig up a deal and I could see, wow, this deal originally came from Realtor Bob,
That's right.
right? Now I can call Realtor Bob. And so then I might even be calling them on Wednesday. And then if they've got a pre-approved looking, now I might be calling them on Thursday. So it's potential for us to call these referral partners up to 4 times a week. And then we would think, okay, that's just too much. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, wait a minute. Okay, first of all, what's the percentage of pickups do we think we're going to get on that, Steve? What you're the numbers guy. So
Yeah.
if
I
I
mean,
call the same agent every day for 4 days, how many is
well,
he
the
going to pick
math
up every
is when you
time?
call your
What's the
warm
math?
list, it's about 60% won't answer and
Yeah.
40% will.
Okay, so
And so
about
you just leave a great voicemail, shoot them a text,
there
and
you
more than
go.
likely they're going to shoot you a text back. Or so it's not always contact; it's touches. That's what we're looking for.
And here's what I'm gonna wind up saying. If that were the case,
Yeah.
okay, let's say Monday they didn't answer. Tuesday but I left a voicemail, just checking and seeing how you need any help. Found anybody over the weekend you want me to help out. Tuesday I gave them an update, right? Because I said, "Hey, I'm calling you on 123 Main Street," and they're like, "What's up? Yeah, talk to me," right? So I had the conversation on Tuesday. Wednesday, maybe I just left a voicemail. Thursday, maybe I had the conversation. But I would tell you this, man. Like if that was you, and these are very short phone calls, this is 10 minutes of total conversation probably through the whole week, right? If that's you on doing that, and then some deal comes across their desk where they need somebody to get pre-approved, who are they going to call? Like, I mean, I would probably call the person that that's calling me the most, the person that's most top of mind, right? The person that's been reaching out professionally, helping me with my business. I'm thinking that's probably who they're going to call. That's what I'm saying. Now, if I have a deal going with them and the only time I call them was on Tuesday to update them on that deal, and the other 6 days of the week goes by, and I never engaged with them for any reason whatsoever, and somebody that looks like, Kristen comes along, and is talking to these people. The next thing you know, a lead comes in and give that Kristen a try, right? That could possibly happen.
That's right, because
Right?
I'm going to be asking.
That's right.
That's right.
You're going to be asking. That's what I'm saying. So Monday call, Tuesday call. Do we make them both? I'm saying emphatically yes. I'd like to see what people think in the chat, and just
So, Frank,
keep
do you
exploring
ask for
that.
the business every time you talk to him then?
Well,
After
that's a
you-
great question, and the answer is yes. And the thing is people struggle with asking for the business because they just simply don't know how. Right? They make it a production, and it doesn't have to be a production. Right? Jen, you and I have a conversation. Hey, Jen, just checking on the weekend. How'd it go? Or play with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Hey, you happen to come across anybody that needs my help? Say no.
No, not today.
Okay, no problem. Well, glad you had a great weekend. We got a file we're doing. I'll give you an update on that tomorrow. Hey, if anybody pops up, anybody comes across your desk, hey, I'm just hoping, you count on me. Or I can count on you to send them my way. Is that cool?
Cool.
Of course. I mean, it's easy. It doesn't have to be a production, right? Just very simple. I like, Carl, I just like to call it change the way we say goodbye. Hey, don't forget. Hey, just don't forget. Come across somebody that needs my help, man. Help me send them my way, okay? Okay. Something like that, right? Yes. I think we ask for the business every time.
Hey, and Frank, I think this too. We have to remember the purpose of Monday are our realtor partners. We call those our Focus 40. In the beginning, if you don't have a lot of qualified agents actively referring you, you're going to make a lot of outbound calls, and those people may not be your partners yet. But remember, the purpose is, excuse me, at some point, 3-6 months, you're building this qualified agent list of Focus 40 agents that are your true partners. They're people that know, they like you, they trust you. You're calling them on Monday. How did the weekend go? How about your open houses? You have any leads that came through that maybe aren't attached to somebody else that we can call and wake up? Like, it's a true partnership. So it shouldn't be weird. It's like, hey, talk to me. How'd it go over the weekend?
Mm-hmm.
But keep in mind, these aren't just cold calls in the beginning. They should be warm calls that are turning into relationships so that you have relationships you're calling every Monday. And that's the power of it. Hey, and there was somebody who said, Rick, I get stuck on a 20 or 30-minute conversation. One of the great ways to overcome that is just to say, hey, Frank, hey, man, it's Monday. I've got about 3 minutes before my next meeting. Hey, I just wanted to call and check in to see how the weekend went. Did you work or you play? But you can even pre-frame that. Hey, I just got a couple minutes for this next meeting. I was thinking about you. How did the weekend go?
And
You
as
work,
a
you play?
general rule,
Yeah.
not always, but as
Yeah.
a general rule, those longer phone calls are again with the struggle bunnies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because people that are
ones are too
busy,
busy. Yeah.
they're busy, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot going on.
And they
Someone
don't need
calls
a
me
long
today looking for a 20-minute
conversation.
phone call.
Yeah.
Not that I wouldn't want to. I just don't have time.
So what about this, guys? I call the agent, they answer. I do have a deal with them, and they do ask me, "Oh, what's going on in the Jones deal?" It's Monday though. It's a Monday call.
Hey, what's
Thoughts?
best? Hey, Frank, what's best number for Diane to give you a call here in about
That's
15
exactly
minutes?
what I was going to say. I was going to see what everybody else said. Hey, listen, I'm going to have Darlene call you with a full update on that file. So,
Yeah.
and if you don't have a team member, Well, you should. You should have somebody.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You got a
But if you don't,
processor. You got a
Yeah.
processor, if nothing else. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
hopefully, right.
Yeah.
Reaffirm it. Hey, that's a great question. I know Darlene or Diane or whoever your processor is the most up to date as to where we're at.
Yeah.
And so it's 10 o'clock now. I'm going to have her call you back at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
The full update.
Even if it's just you, I mean, you could do the same thing. Say, that's a
Yeah.
great question. I'll dive into that and give you a call back in a couple hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just move on, you
Yeah.
know? And then, okay, so I did that. Do I make the Tuesday call? Of course. Why? Because we committed to it. We said, I'm going to call you every Tuesday. I know we just talked about it yesterday, calling you today. Nothing's really changed. Just want to let you know that we're still on track for a smooth and flawless close.
Hey, you know the order to do that, Frank? Here's
Tell
what you
me.
do on Tuesday. You call the title, which blows their mind because title never gets updated. Then you call the insurance you asked. Then you call both clients. Then you call the listing agent. Then you call your agent last and say, hey, I just want you to know that even whenever I was talking to both borrowers, I asked them for a referral. Like update them on what you're doing. And they're blown away that you update. Hey, I just want you to know I updated Frank and Susan and asked them both for the business. They said they didn't have anybody right now, but guess what? I'm going to continue to ask. We're on track for a smooth and flawless closing. Is there anything else you need from me today? Cool. Who else do you have today that I could help get pre-approved to make sure it's a good use of your time? So even the order you call on Tuesday helps as well.
I
if you
love
frame it.
that. I hadn't considered that order.
Yeah, man,
That's
they are
good.
blown
What was it
away
again?
when they hear that
So-
you called everybody.
Title, insurance.
Yeah, you got a deal working right now. And sometimes
Borrowers,
they just need the
listing
title
agent.
to be updated, and you're like, "Hey, I already took care of it. I got it."
That
That's
was like a
big.
little master class right there.
I
Yeah,
know.
order matters. The order of who you call. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It
What's
was.
everybody else think?
Yeah. What's in the what's in the
I have
chat?
an agent that asks me for business every time we talk. Hey, Marcio.
Good.
Man, high five, girl. You're doing the same thing I'm doing, and guess what? Together, we're gonna find somebody.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
And I think the consistency of the calls, everybody is hesitant to it at first, but when you get that first conversation where you realize that you've built the trust through the
Yeah.
consistency and through asking for the business and being the one that they can depend on, how many times have you talked to a real estate agent? Their number one pain point is I can't get an update from my lender. And when
Yeah.
you're consistent in all of the different phone calls,
Yeah.
you become the dependable one in your market. And I think something that sometimes gets overlooked is that creates a referable experience because those agents that have top producers in their office that they're working with and networking with, because all the top producers hang out together in the offices together. When they talk about the experience that they had with Frank or Steve or Carl or Paulina or Levin, it's like every Tuesday I get a call and I'm getting other calls. It's like they're the best communicating lender out there. That wins referrals.
Hey, thanks for enjoying this Loan Officer Breakfast Club YouTube video. If you are into industry news, if you like to keep up with what's going on within the mortgage and real estate industry, you might not be aware of this, but you can get free news snippets every single day by going to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. In the top nav bar, you'll see in the news. Click it, daily, fresh news about the mortgage and real estate industry. There's even loan officer perspective and realtor perspective on each news story that you can make use of in your marketing. So enjoy loanofficerbreakfastclub.com/in the news.
Hey, and drop in the chat for those of you who want to learn more. If you're not a member, would be open to exploring a process to prospecting. And what we've been talking about this morning is literally a process, the same way every time. Drop in the chat, Jen, where they can go, or just say I'm interested, and the team will reach out to you. But we'd love to jump on a call, show you what we're talking about, and help you with a process to prospecting. Hey, can I say one thing too? Remember this, Carl. Like part of what I think about when you're originating loans and you're building partners, it's not weird because these people become friends that you're actually working with. Remember, it's not like I just think about Oscar and I think about Brandon and I think about all these people I've worked with for years. It's not weird when I call them. They're almost disappointed if I don't because they come to expect the calls. And so there comes a point, in my opinion, where it turns into a relationship. So,
Hey, and on that thing, and that was a great question. hey, or a comment, hey, I have an agent that asked me for referrals. Awesome. I tell you the best way to handle that, and this where it so that you actually like instead of instead of dodging or reflecting the question or deflecting the question, like lean into it.
Yeah.
Say, hey, that's a great idea. You know what I found? I found that the average top producing real estate agent closes about 1 out of 20
20.
of their leads that they get. So about 5%. I got a great idea. Now I don't know where you fall on that, but that's the numbers for the top producers. I got an idea. Once you send me over the last 5 open houses that you did, send me over the open house sheets and let me call them. And I bet I'll have you a referral by the end of the day.
Yep.
Just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true too.
Yeah. They don't, most time they don't need more leads. They just need follow up on the leads that they already have.
Hey,
They
and
just,
that's a whole process that we have called follow up and refer back, and we'll
Yeah.
show you that in the strategy call. So, man,
I actually got a
that's-
PowerPoint presentation that you can share like at realtors' offices.
Oh, it's powerful.
It's
Yeah.
very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
Good stuff today, guys.
Yeah,
Steve, what if I don't want to grow my business? What do I do then?
don't make calls.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, and here's something, and I know we talked about it. We're literally going to talk about it tomorrow in the boot camp that I'm doing. But you know what? When you make calls and then you couple the other things that we do, that farming aspect of what we do, which is, you've got the mailer, you've got random text, you've got weekly email, you got targeted ads. I mean, what happens is it's just exponential, but the phone calls are the catalyst. So,
Hey,
and I wish it were different. I have a friend of mine in Houston, Carl, he's 80 and he is still originating loans. And I asked him, I said, hey, Ken, tell me about it. He said, I've been originating since the 80s. And I said, tell me about that. What was the number one thing you did to get your business? I mean, this is the 80s, right? Like, it's not that old, I'm sure. Frank and Carl, like, that wasn't that far back.
easy.
But I mean,
Where are you
originating
going with
loans
this?
in the 80s
Yeah.
was a whole different world. And you know what he said? Was making phone calls. He said, we just picked up the phone, looked in the phone book. I mean, like literally it was phone calls. And I don't think that it's changed. I think tech enhances the phone calls, but it's still conversations.
Yeah.
I saw a thing with John. I know you're a huge Maxwell
Oh, yeah.
fan,
Yeah.
Steve. I saw him do a thing of the week. I want everybody to do it just real quick, and we'll get out of here. This bugged me all weekend. I could
Come
not
on.
get this out of my head. It kind of pissed me off a little bit, and
What?
then I realized why it pissed me off because it hit home it was too close to home.
Okay.
Everybody, grab your hands and put them together.
All right.
Everybody do that. Everybody got
All
it?
right.
Like literally, I want you to do it. Like literally. You got to actually do this. So
Okay.
and if you're just listening to this, put your hands together, and interlock your fingers, kind of like you're praying, I guess, right? All right, everybody's got it?
Yeah.
All right, now what I want you to do is, so everybody, either your left thumb or your right thumb is now on top, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to switch it one over. So switch it one over. So now, like your right's on top of your left, not just
Yeah.
your thumbs, but all your fingers.
Right,
Switch them
right.
all.
Yeah.
Everybody got it?
Yeah.
You got it, Teresa? You got Jennifer?
Yeah.
Got it, Allison? All right. Doesn't that feel weird?
Yes.
It does.
Doesn't that
Yeah.
feel weird? Like it feels off kiltered,
Yeah.
And so he went on to talk about this, and he said most people are more comfortable in staying in the problem than making a shift to the solution because it feels uncomfortable.
Mm.
And I thought about that. And usually the shift is something as simple as, figuratively speaking, metaphorically speaking,
Mm.
just changing one little thing. And it just feels very
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so most people would rather stay in the in the
Pain and comfort.
in the pain, in the problem,
Mm-hmm.
than the solution, which feels uncomfortable. It feels different.
Wow.
Now, truth known, whether you go, and as those of you watch this on video, whether you have it like the way that I had it, or this other way, it's
There's almost no difference.
there.
It's
Yeah,
more-
there's no
yeah.
difference to it.
Yeah.
And well, but so Frank, if I would have started this way, as you're looking in the camera there,
Yeah.
you go, okay, whatever. And if I started this way, you would go, whatever. It doesn't look any different to the outsiders.
Right.
Mm.
In other words, it feels weird to me to change it. It feels
Right.
unusual to me. It sounds weird to me. I don't want to be creepy. I don't want to all this other stuff that feels uncomfortable to me, but to everybody else, whether I have my fingers this way or my fingers that way, you wouldn't think one thing or the other.
Right.
Right. And so
Right.
the discomfort is only to me, the weirdness is only to me. To the outsider, there's
Mhm.
no change whatsoever. And I just think about that all weekend long. So,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway,
Hey, and if and I don't want to forget, but if you want to learn more, jump on the strategy call. Drop it in one more time, Jen. If you want to get out of the pain and you're open to what
a solution.
yeah, that's what I was just thinking about, Carl.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I used to say to myself was it was like if I knew what to do, I would do it. I'm a doer. I just need to know what to do. And we can help you with that. We really, really can help you with that. We follow the data and we know what's working right now. And so jump on a call. We'll help you with that. So good stuff. Hey, what are we talking
Good
about
stuff.
tomorrow, Frank?
Hey, and just real quick for
Yeah.
our Call Stars members, we'll see you. I gotta run to the car dealership real quick, drop off a car, and
right.
Call Stars starts straight at regular time this week. But
Okay.
we're gonna go deep into the scripts, but it starts at regular time this week.
Cool.
So what are we
Okay.
doing
All
tomorrow,
right.
Frank?
Man. Well, tomorrow it's going to be more of the same. We're going to do some coaching
Let's do
tomorrow.
it.
And so, but we will have a special guest just briefly. My daughter, Katie Lewis. She's going to be on the show.
I love
Yeah,
Katie.
I convinced her she needs to get up early and come to the show. She started her own little business, Carl, and there's some stuff where she can maybe help out some people.
Hey! It's not a little business; it's Katie's business.
That's right.
Yeah. What's she doing? What's she doing?
Just all kinds of stuff. Well, number one, she can help with MoveTube management for the people that have MoveTube. If they're not making their new listing calls, she can help make those calls for them, which are huge
Wow.
calls to make. And then manage them, do some of the processing of the information in that. And then she can do all kinds of just marketing and just lots of really very, very cool stuff. She's been my assistant for decades. So, and she wanted to open up and start running her own business. So that's what we're going to do. We just want to introduce her and everybody meet her. And she doesn't have a ton of bandwidth, obviously, but she has some. And if people need some help, they might be able to use her.
You ever met Katie before in person, Steve?
Oh yeah. Yeah. She came to our, you remember the event?
In Tahoe.
Yeah. Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, that is
That's
one,
right.
that is one sharp lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
So
she's good. So she'll be here for a little bit. We'll talk about that. And then we'll probably segue that into, other awesome stuff like we did today.
Is she here this morning by chance, Frank?
Oh, heavens no. Are you
Okay, so
kidding?
tomorrow. Okay, cool, cool.
Yes.
it's too early.
It'd be good to see her, man.
Yes.
All right.
Now, I can't guarantee the mood that she'll be in. I can't guarantee that. So, but she will be here. Yeah, she's made the commitment. So,
Like a true father.
all right. What do you guys say? You want to get out of here? Show up tomorrow? You're going to make our calls today? Monday calls, right, guys?
Let's do it.
Make our Monday
Hey, buddy.
calls, and we're still going to make our Tuesday calls, right? You guys
That's
have a
it.
great day. Glad to see y'all this morning. Adios.
See you.
Have a great day, everybody.